Su Casa, which means our home is your home, and so please feel free to be welcome in this place today. We are glad that you have come out this afternoon to witness this candidates conversation. Our candidates conversation today will take place between those who are candidating for the 3 slots available for trustee, and then the 1 slot available for the mayor's office. At the end of the session, we will allow those others who are running to announce themselves and platform, that type of thing. We only had time enough for these 2. Otherwise, y'all might miss y'all after church nap. Amen. And maybe I ain't talking about y'all, maybe I'm talking about me. Amen. Want to do a couple of things. We'll open in a word of prayer because we are in church. Amen. And after prayer, I want to set the kind of the framing for today. And then Reverend Justin Hamler, who is our associate pastor for justice and community engagement, will lead us forward. All right? Is that fine? Let's have a word of prayer. God, thank you for this day and for this time. We thank you for those who are submitting themselves for service in the mayor's office, in the trustee's office, and other offices that were going forward. God, we thank you for their commitment and willingness to submit themselves for service. We pray that you bless this time and this day. Use it to educate those voters who will be voting on Tuesday or who have already voted already. But we also ask that you would empower those who will be serving our village to bring the best of what it is that they have to make sure that your people are served in the best way possible because your people deserve it. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Amen. Again, welcome to First Baptist Church. We really consider ourselves part of community. And not only do I consider myself a pastor for the members of First Baptist Church, but I consider myself, whether you darken the doorstep of First Baptist Church or not, I consider myself pastor or one of the pastors of our entire community. And so we're glad to have you here today for this conversation. I want to do just a little bit of framing before I pass it on to Reverend Justin. Know that this is being streamed, so if you don't get it now, you can get it on Facebook Live or live stream. Is that correct? You can get it on Facebook Live or live stream, all right? So when we planned this, I don't think we realized and recognized the day on which this would fall. This is Palm Sunday, right? And in the Christian tradition, if there are those who are not here from Christian tradition, you are still welcome. I want you to know that. We ain't exclusive like that. We ain't saying you got to get out if you ain't, that's not how we understand our Christianity to be. But if for those in the Christian tradition, you will understand that this is Palm Sunday. And for those who are not aware, Palm Sunday is not just a religious ritual. Palm Sunday is not just a holy habit, but it is, watch this, the celebration of liberation. Palm Sunday is a day where Jesus came into the center city of Jerusalem on a parade, and in a parade where the people threw palms at his feet. Palms, the palms that you got when you were entering, and if you don't have a palm, please raise your hand and our ushers will serve you. If you don't have a palm, ushers, because I want everybody to have a palm in their hand when I say this. Mitch, if you would pass, if those who did not have palms, take these palms in your hand, please. And if not, I give you my palm, and I'll go get another palm or something. If you do not have palms, please take these palms in your hand. Because since I understand myself to be pastor of a community, I'm going to do some pastoring and educating right now. Amen. Ted, right over here. Here, you can have my palm. Right over here. I got my quarterback in the house. Amen. During the time of Jesus, palms represented a symbol of resistance and revolution. Resistance and revolution against the dominance of the Roman Empire or the Roman government. And what we have discovered is that when Pilate was coming in when Jesus came in on one side of town, Pilate was coming in on the other side of town. And Pilate came in representing a government that was scaring the Roman people and that was oppressing the Roman people and exploiting the Roman people. And what we've discovered is that the parade in which Pilate was coming in on was preserving and had three things: a mistaken perspective, misplaced priorities, and missed possibilities as it relates to the people to whom the government was supposed to serve. Y'all with me? On the other side, Jesus is coming to town with a parade about revolution because he was concerned about the people. And so as you have your palms in your hand, and as you are here looking at and listening to persons who are vying for your vote, which is your voice, as you consider for whom you will vote and the questions you have for this candidate's conversation, I want you to think about which parade would you be in. Are you going to vote for the parade that is to preserve the status quo and to preserve those who oppress the people? Or are you going to vote for those who are concerned about the people? There are two parades, and you with your vote have the chance and the opportunity to choose which parade you will be in. There's one parade about preserving the status quo, another about freedom of people from being pimped. Your vote is your voice. Your vote is what it is that people have died for you to get to go to these polls if this is your precinct that you see right outside in First Baptist Church walking into. Don't ever take that for granted. Your vote is your voice. And so pick which parade you're going to be in based on what you listening today, what you listen to today. And so now I turn the conversation with that in mind. I use that as a framing. I turn this conversation now over to our Associate Pastor for Justice and Community Engagement, who will lead us further in rules for today. Amen.
Good evening, afternoon, everyone, and welcome once again to First Baptist Church of University Park. We are so delighted that you are here with us. As Pastor said, our house is your house, and so feel free to feel at home and know that you are welcomed here. As Pastor said, my name is Reverend Justin Hamler. I serve as the Associate Pastor for Justice and Community Engagement here at the First Baptist Church of University Park, and I will also serve as your moderator for today. And so before we get started, let me just let you all know that there is an opportunity for you all as the audience to ask questions. And so moving throughout the aisles right now, Reverend Amber and Deacon Mitch have some index cards and some pencils, and if you may have your own pen or pencil, but we ask that you write those questions down ahead of time and submit those back to either Reverend Amber or Deacon Mitch, and we will pre-screen those questions to ensure that they are respectful and meet the guidelines of today, because we don't want to be here all day, but we want to make sure that your voice is also heard. Does that sound like a plan? All right. So the rules of today are as follows. Number one, know that this forum, Know that this forum is intended to support open and respectful exchanges of ideas. Aggressive, demeaning, discriminatory, or otherwise hurtful language and actions will not be tolerated, and I, as the moderator, may ask individuals acting in such a way to leave. Please don't make me do that. But if you are disrespectful or demeaning or aggressive in any way, we will have you removed. Each candidate will have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to provide an opening and closing statement. The timekeeper, can you raise your hand? This is Reverend Dr. Ebony Only. She's our executive pastor here at the First Baptist Church of University Park. She will give a signal to the candidate when 30 seconds remains. You all will see this 30-second sign, and will stop the candidate at the 2-minute mark. The order of candidate opening and closing statements have been decided. The candidates have picked names to decide who will go first, second, third, and fourth for the trustee forum, and who will go first, second, and third for both opening and closing statements for the mayoral candidates as well. A total of 5 questions will be asked by me, the moderator, for each office, and each candidate will have an opportunity to answer each question with a maximum answer time of 2 minutes each. The timekeeper, once again, will give the signal when there are 30 seconds left, and the order of the candidate responses will change for each question to ensure fairness to all candidates. Audience members, that's you all. You will be allowed to submit questions for both mayoral and trustee candidates. These questions will be pre-screened by a member of the First Baptist Church team to ensure the question is respectful and meets the ground rules and standards of this forum. A total of 5 questions from the audience will be chosen and asked by the moderator, and each candidate will have an opportunity to answer each question once again with a maximum answer time of 2 minutes. The timekeeper once again will have the cards, and they will give you the signal when there's 30 minutes left. And of course, the responses will change as we go on to ensure fairness. Observers, those in attendance, you're not permitted to ask questions openly or make comments during the forum. And if anyone in attendance fails to adhere to this rule, they may be asked to leave. Forum participants, please do not interrupt each other. And candidates, you may not use text or other communication technology during the forum except for emergency purposes. You may use writing material, but you may not use visual presentation materials. Time limits on statements, questions, and answers will be enforced by the moderator during this forum. And finally, I may intervene if any of these ground rules are not followed. So at this time, let's get ready to start the trustee forum here at the First Baptist Church at University Park. Can you put your hands together and thank each and every one of these participants for being here today. At this time, we will begin the forum. So I'll give each of you a chance to do your opening statements. You all know your order. So at this time, you'll be given 2 minutes to give your opening statements today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first thank God, First Baptist Church, and Reverend Hamler for putting this forum together. For those of you who do not know me, I am Shirley Bolding, a resident of University Park for 43 years. My background is in business administration. I worked at IBM for 25 years in management, having 25 to 30 employees reporting to me at any given time. After retiring from IBM as an entrepreneur, I opened my own staffing agency where I performed all human resource responsibilities. Some of the contracts that I had were Blue Cross Blue Shield, CTA, RTA, and the City of Chicago. I provided employees to the city for the Taste of Chicago, blues and jazz festivals, and of course the Air and Water Show. Furthermore, I am a member of First Baptist Church of University Park, where I actively participate in various community outreach programs and a member of the Order of Eastern Star. In conclusion, I am currently a senior village trustee where I'm heavily involved in economic development. Therefore, I bring a great deal of knowledge and experience to the table. Again, thank you for your time.
Hello, neighbors. I want to thank also Pastor Williams and the First Baptist Church family for hosting this forum. Thank all of you for coming. My name is Jewel Thompson, and I'm running for trustee of the Village Board here in University Park. I moved here in 1989 and raised my children here. I remember a better, happier University Park. I moved here because it was safe and a peaceful place to raise a family. In December, I will be marking 40 years as a nurse. I have a master's degree in nursing education, and I have worked in many areas of nursing, from the bedside to the financial side, to the corporate operations side, and now to the government regulation side. I have served as a trustee on our library board since 2005. I started when I was asked to participate on the long-range planning committee for the library when they first moved to the new building. I'm running for trustee because I care about this village. It is our home. It's my home. My life and work experiences and the skills and knowledge that I've gained will help me to serve this village as trustee. Thank you all again for being here.
Hello, my name is Donna Dilworth, and I'm running for trustee in University Park. I'm here because I love this community. I'm raising my family in this community, and this is where we love and want to continue to stay. I want to thank the residents that are here for showing up. I want to second thank First Baptist for having this forum and opening up this sanctuary for us to have an opportunity to be better informed, to be better qualified in making our decision on April 4th. There's a lot of things that people don't understand about just government, but I can say that local government affects us directly more than federal government. So our local government is more important than our federal government because it directs us 75% more of the time directly. So based off of that, I'm running as trustee because I saw that there is a lot of things here in our community that I felt that our board was not really doing to help make sure that the safeguards are taken for us as residents, because part of their duties as a trustee is to establish legislation to make sure that our health, our safety, and our welfare is being taken care of here in University Park. I did not see all of those things being done. Our health has been affected because first, we have this water issue. Our safety has been affected because we have a lack of police security, and also our streets and roads and infrastructure is dilapidated. And our welfare here is that we don't have any programs and services here for our residents to be involved and to make sure that we have a sense of community here. So I just want to thank you all for coming. We will get more into more of my qualifications later, but I just want to thank you. And that's it.
Good afternoon. I am Gina Williams, and I am so grateful to God to be here today. I'm so grateful to see all of you here today. I'm a 35-plus resident of University Park. It is here that I raised 5 beautiful daughters, 2 handsome nephews, and a host of grandchildren. They are all part of the 201 school district. Prior to coming out here, I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago, south side, where I attended Dunbar High School, and I graduated from Sawyer Business College. After leaving Sawyer Business College, I began working for the American Library Association, which I do have 2 of my supervisors here today. And then from leaving there, I went to Blue Cross and Blue Shield, where I retired. I was a healthcare specialist. I took care of the producers, the agents, the brokers. I did customer service, claim processing, you name it. I became a member of the Almighty Teamsters Union, where I was a union rep, and I made sure our members had the best. I made sure I negotiated the best contracts for them. I made sure they were getting the best policies and procedures. And just the way I fought for them, I'm fighting for you all. I think you all know over the last 10 to 12 years, I've attended more meetings probably than any elected official. I stood at the mic every single time. I was the sounding alarm, bringing awareness to us. I continue to do that. I continue to fight and advocate because I do see that our community has slid downhill, and I want to bring it back to where it belongs. So I'm that person that will stand toe-to-toe and blow for blow for the community of University Park. I'm not new to it, but I'm true to it. I didn't come to play, but I will come to slay.
Thank you to each one of our trustee forum candidates. Can we give them a hand one more time? The first question today for you all is, why are you running or seeking re-election for trustee? And if elected or re-elected, what will be your priorities? And I'll start with Ms. Williams.
Okay, I'm running for trustee, as I first stated. I've seen a lot of changes in the village that I'm not happy with. And I want to be that voice. I want to be that one that can bring about change. I want to make sure that we do have safe, clean water. I want to make sure that we have enough police officers on the ground. I want to make sure that our seniors and our children are not forgotten about. I don't want them just playing sports, although that has its place, but I want to see them have STEM programs and other things that can promote growth and get them career-oriented. I want our seniors to do more than just go on a boat trip to the casino twice a year. I want to see them be able to go to plays, musicals, have activities, line dancing. It's so much to offer the people, and it seems like it's falling on deaf ears. I want to bring back those committees and bring volunteers back into it. I want to engage with you all. I'm accessible. I'm not one that will run from you, but I will run to you. Right now, I've worked on that aqua relief program to make sure that you all's water stayed on. I made sure, even before that program was put in place, I was calling LIWAP. I called Will County to make sure people's water stayed on. I talked to Ms. Robinson to make sure she was faxing over, because a lot of times when people apply for LIHEAP and LIWAP, they don't always get the money right away. So people were contacting me saying my water was cut off. So I contacted the Illinois Commerce Commission, the Citizens Utility Board, and I made sure that they faxed over that information so those people would get their water turned back on and others wouldn't get it turned off. I am here to work. I'm here to do the will of God, and that is to serve this community and continue to serve him.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Ms. Dilworth.
Why I'm running for trustee? It's just plain and simple. We can see it here every time we walk out our doors. Our streets are dilapidated. Our community doesn't, our children don't have anything to do in the community. There's programs and services that I've tried to get implemented here in University Park, but the village manager and the board wasn't able to find money to do it. There's no way, that's an excuse to me to say that you can't find money to provide services and programs for our community. It doesn't make any sense. Every time I come to the board meeting where we speak up about different things about what's going on in our community, I did not like the fact that the residents did not get the respect to receive an answer back when they're asking questions. They take their time out every time to come to board meetings as a volunteer to ask questions, to address issues, but we'll never get a response back from trustees. I did not like that. So that's another thing that I just say, we have to make sure we respect our residents and make sure that they have a voice where they can communicate their issues as well as have them addressed. Accountability is a big key issue. I don't see that there's accountability being taken care of in this village. When people are doing things, they're not being held accountable. Transparency, we need to make sure that we're providing our residents and us with financial documents to say where are they spending our money. We're not seeing that. We're seeing that a lot of our money comes in, but we do not see in our community where the money is being used. And that's the problem with me. Economic development. Yes, we all want economic development, but we want to make sure the economic development that comes into our community is going to also build careers. That where residents or people want to come here and live and buy a home here in University Park, not just come through and leave out. Financial stability, we got to make sure that our budgets are done correctly and on time. Our levies are turned in at the right time, because that is not being done. We've received budgets. I've been having meetings with residents to explain the budgets to them because they didn't understand it. Took my time out to say, let's go over this as well.
Thank
so
you,
those
Ms.
are the
Dilworth.
reasons why I say I want to.
Thank you. Ms. Thompson. Your mic.
Believe me, I asked myself this question. Why do you want to put yourself into this? Why do you want to be a trustee? I was tired and embarrassed. When people at the job say, don't you live in University Park? Oh, you got lead in your water. Oh, They had this shooting and that shooting. That's embarrassing. This was a beautiful place when I came here, and we're going in the wrong direction. I felt like I had the skills and the compassion and everything else I need to make a difference. So I told myself, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. If you want to grow old here, and I do, God willing, then something has to change. Get up off the couch and put your toe in the water and make a difference where it can count. The money I'm paying continues to go up. I'm paying more and more taxes for less and less and zero services. And I want to be a part of making that change, and I can do that with your support. Thank you.
Trustee Bolden.
Running for re-election because I love love University Park. I love the residents in University Park, and my heart is here in University Park. Like I said earlier, I have been here for 43 years, and I've been on the board. This is my second go-around, and I want to continue to bring in development and public safety. I'm all for that. What all these ladies just said, I'm for all of that. So nothing has changed on that. I am on the economic development, and all the meetings that come through, I was part of bringing Amazon in, which some of you didn't like, and I admit that we did not do a great deal of negotiating when we brought them in. However, we are still bringing businesses in, and in order to get be more attractive, this is what we have to do. Like I said, I love this village. I love working here. My passion is here, and I intend to continue working for you, the residents of University Park. I'm all for public safety. We're getting new policemen. So we're doing all the things that you're asking for. However, some don't see it. But just stick around. You'll see the results of our work. Thank you.
Thank you, each of you, for answering the first question. The second question today is there a particular issue within the University Park community that motivates you to serve in this capacity? And Ms. Dilworth, I'll ask you to answer first.
A particular issue that drove me to want to run for university trustee was when my daughter was in 5th grade. They had a program, they had an assignment to do where they had to, each person in the classroom had to talk about all the different things that's within their community, like their restaurants that they go to, the stores that they do, things they do in their community. And unfortunately, my daughter could not answer these questions. She couldn't say, and then so we was like, oh, it's a problem. So she's like, why do we have to always go out of our community to have anything, to do anything, to eat, to do anything that we have to do, we have to leave out the community. And I said, well, to me, this is my response. I think it was overall that just the management overall, the priorities wasn't there. So she said, well, you know how to do these things. Why aren't you doing anything about it? And I said, well, you're absolutely right. So I thought about it, and I said, I have to be an example for my daughter to say, when you see something wrong, you do something about it. And that's exactly what I'm doing, to make sure that there's a problem out there that I need to solve. I have background experience in marketing and business management. I have a degree in business administration, a minor in marketing. I have experience as in writing contracts, negotiation, relationship building, writing budgets, creating budgets, analyzing numbers. I have a lot of financial and management experience. I was a store manager as well. So I have the experience working with people, service. I'm also working on part of the finance committee. I am on the University Park Baseball Organization Board, where I seen that there was a need. We brought that back in 3 years, and it's becoming successful. The kids are here. It's flourishing. We're building money. We're getting grant money. That's happening. Last year, when there was no opportunity for them to coach,
Thank you,
I
Ms.
decided
Dilworth.
to coach baseball for the kids so they can have somewhere to go.
Thank you. Ms. Thompson? The question was, is there a particular issue within the University Park community that motivates you to serve in this capacity?
So many things. It's hard to pinpoint just one thing. But I believe that it's important for village leadership, the board, to reach out to in partnership with the residents. We have so many resources here. We have no really committees anymore. It's residents here with a lot of experience just in life who would be beneficial to any committee they were on. Right now, also, we have a divided community. We can't make it. We cannot survive if we stay divided. We have to come together. So unity is one of my things. I want to bring us all together. And I want to also, in the days of rubber stamp policies, we can't just say I. You have to think about it. You have to research and see what the best thing is, not just for a few people, but for most of the people. We have to begin a new day somewhere. We need a fresh wind because our ship is going into the storm. We need a fresh wind to turn the ship around so we can go into a better direction that considers the good of everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Bolden?
Question again, please.
The question is there a particular issue within the University Park community that motivates you to serve in this capacity?
One of my motivations is economic development. Like I said, I'm the liaison for economic development. I'm here to continue working with the different companies that want to come to University Park. For instance, we were at, not Carvana, who's that we were with last week? Central Steel. They had a soft opening. And I wish when it does open that everyone could go there and see what they're doing there. The building is so big and so wide, there's 17 football fields that could be in there. So my thing here at University Park is to continue to bring in resources, businesses, to help this community go forward. Residents are asking for the grocery store. In order to get the grocery store, we need rooftops here, more people. We do not have enough traffic, and in order to get that, we need to do that. So with us bringing in new businesses, that attracts new businesses. All the businesses that we have brought in along the Cicero corridor will help us to get our taxes down. And also, it will help the students at the governor's state. There's places they don't have to go. There are no places for them to go. So therefore, my passion is bring in more stability to University Park and more businesses in order to get the grocery stores and all the other amenities that we're asking for. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Williams?
There are several things that motivate me to want to run for this village, but here lately, the crime has taken us by storm. I don't know if a lot of you know this, but years ago, at the age of 34, I lost my husband to a violent crime. For no apparent reason, he was shot and killed by a 15-year-old boy. I continued to stay out here. I continued to work hard to keep a roof over our heads. In 2016, the current mayor, along with 3 other trustees, voted to let go of 7 of our police officers. Right now, in this community, over a little 7,000 people, we have only 7 police officers. Crime has gone soaring. Shootings, killings. My daughter, in broad open daylight, coming home from work at 3:30 in the afternoon, was shot at 4 times by 4 young men. This cannot continue. All the money that we're sinking into that golf course, millions of dollars, we could have had police officers. The blood is on their hands for this rise in crime. This makes no sense. We cannot continue down this road. We need police. We need public safety. We need awareness. We need neighborhood watch. I am not going to continue to live in a neighborhood where there is shooting, killing, carjackings. All of this has plagued us. This town was once Mayberry. All they needed was one bullet in their pocket because nothing was going on like Barney. But now, every time you look, you're hearing shooting at night. So that is one of the reasons why I'm running. I want to protect our residents. I want to make sure that we live safe and sound.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. The third question. What particular experiences or skills have prepared you to serve in this capacity? I'll repeat it one more time. What particular experiences or skills have prepared you to serve in this capacity? Ms. Thompson, we'll start with you.
As I stated before, I'm a nurse girl, so when you're a nurse, and when you've been a nurse as long as I've been a nurse, you have learned how to do a little bit of everything with compassion. Nurses are taught critical thinking. That's the main part of your nursing education, critical thinking. So that's the way you come up with a plan to dig yourself out of a problem that doesn't seem to have an answer. I've worked in various, as I said in my opening, various areas of nursing. All nursing is not at the bedside. I've been at the bedside, but I've also been in the office. I've been making sure that the hospital could get paid. That's called utilization review. I've been working in corporate, running programs, dealing with millions of dollars in a budget in a maternal child health program. And now I'm working for the state of Illinois. I'm a surveillance nurse. What that is like the nurse police. And what we do is we go into healthcare facilities and make sure that they are doing everything they're supposed to do according to government and state regulations. I believe all that, being a mother of 4 children, that prepares you right there. Running my own household, the grandmother of 9, great-grandmother of 2, I think all those things combined, and just the love of people, that is what prepares me to be a trustee in University Park.
Thank you. Trustee Bolden.
Well, let me go back to IBM. If anyone knows anything about IBM, the training you get from IBM is far and beyond. And I attended all business schools for IBM. I taught classes in IBM. I was an administration manager. I have people skills, definitely administration skills, and I'm a solution-oriented person. Now, working at IBM, I had the task of running AR department. I'm not good in math, and I'll tell you that. But what I do know is if you get the right people in your camp working with you, everything will be just fine. So I have all the administration skills. I've been around for a long time, and I bring all that to the table. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Williams.
The skills that I bring are skills that I learned at Blue Cross Blue Shield, being a team player, being customer-oriented, also working with the union and representing members every day. I want to continue to bring those skills to our village. I think it's important that we all work together. Right now, we are like the Hatfields and the McCoys. There is division in our community. I want to bring back unity. I want to serve the people. I've always had a heart to serve. Many of you don't know, but in my lifetime and in my years at University Park, I was a mother to many children, not just to my own. I continued to service and take in people to make sure they had a warm bed and a place to stay. I want to use those same loving skills to help our community. I want to see us progress. That's why I took that aqua thing by storm because I know that there were people hurting. And as I talked to the village manager, even at the most recent meeting, I asked her, with that American Relief Fund, we still have 150,000 K that Biden gave for our village. That should be used to pay people's light, gas, water, rent, wherever they're lacking. We want to see that money get used. We don't want to hear, because the first 486,000 went to payroll. If you had been doing all the checks and balances, it shouldn't have had to go to payroll. So I'm trying to stay on top to make sure that money gets used for our residents. I want to follow the dollars and cents to make sure the money is coming into the community and being used for the right purpose. That's my passion.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Ms. Dilworth?
My experience starts off with just me being the third child out of 6. I was the peacemaker in my house, and I still am. If my family was here, they'd tell you that if there's any issue or anything that needs to be addressed, they'd come to me because I'm the one that's going to help solve the problem. I have a degree in business administration and a minor in marketing from Truman State University. I worked at Walgreens Corporation for over 13 years. I started off as a manager, where I work with a lot of different customers to solve customer service issues, which, as you all know, there's plenty. And then during that process where I helped manage, I looked at financial information. We had to make sure we kept up with profits, sales. After that, I became into the corporate office where I became a food center coordinator, where at that time where I managed over 13 states in that department, which is the food service department, where I handle every aspect of those products, which is over 500 items with over 500 to 600 stores. My job was to meet with the district manager. I used to travel every 3 weeks and be out there and meet with the district managers, the store managers, and all of my vendors to say, hey, do I want to keep these vendors because are they providing us the actual service that we need? I had RFPs. I would meet with them to address issues whether or not we should keep them or not, and that's part of that relationship building. That's part of that being able to understand contracts and negotiations. That's part of that. As also, I was a buyer at Walgreens, where I managed several departments and all their inventory, which is making sure that we have enough inventory into the stores. There's plenty of things that I've done. I've worked on the finance committee, trying to address issues. I work with residents with dealing with budgets, understanding budgets. I'm on the PTO. I have several PTOs that I'm involved in. I'm on the baseball organization. I've been making sure that I have been active in doing things within this community since I started.
Thank you, Ms. Dilworth. Before we go into the fourth question, I just want to remind you all, the audience, that you have the opportunity to write questions down. So there are ushers who are moving throughout the aisles that have index cards. You can write your questions down on those index cards and turn them back into the usher, and then we will look through those questions and answer 5 of those questions at the end of this portion. The fourth question: why should you be elected or re-elected? Why should you be elected or re-elected? And Trustee Bolden, will start with you.
The reason I should be re-elected is because I've already been on the board for 4 years. I'm very much aware of what's going on. I'm involved in a lot of the activities that are going on. Like I said, I'm on economic development. I work with different committees. I am also aware that there are some things that still need to be done, and if you re-elect me, I will continue to focus on those. I am very passionate about this. Like I said, I'm very passionate about University Park, and I do everything in my power to be transparent and tell the truth, whether you like it or not. So I think I would request that you re-elect me so I can continue the job we're doing. We have a lot on the table. There's a lot of new things that's coming in, and I want to continue working with that. So with that, I thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Williams?
Okay, I would like to be elected as a trustee for the Village of University Park. I have currently served on the Plan Commission. I'm a long-standing member of CCC, which stands for Concerned Citizens Committee. I am vice president on the Community Advocate Forum. I have volunteered for the special events. I am, again, the longest standing person at the board meetings for the last 10 to 12 years. I attended the finance meetings. I do the research. I'm known, just like Miss Morgan, as the FOIA queen, because I want to get facts. I don't want to just attack. I want to know the facts. So I do the research. I do everything to make sure that what we're doing is within the guidelines. So I would like to continue to bring those things to the village and University Park, honesty, integrity, because we don't see that now. People are not doing what they're supposed to do. So I want to bring back committees. I want to work back again with the finance committee to follow the money, to see where the budget is. I want to make sure audits and things are done properly. And I'm that person. I'm a hard worker. I don't turn down anything. I will go for it. So I'm here to make it happen for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Ms. Dilworth?
I would like for you all to vote for me because I see a need. I see a need here in this community, and we all do. There needs to be a change. We need to come together. We need to build together. We need to grow together. We need to let everybody be a part of the process. I'm good with, we have been stagnant for years. We've been pretty much about 7,000 residents and the same amount of homes for over around 20 years. That has to change. I can help with strategic plans. I would like to see some type of plan because we've been asking for where's the strategic plan here for University Park, and we haven't seen it. We need to have a direction on where we need to go, and I can help put that forward. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be advocating for programs and services for our youth, for our seniors, and for millennials. There's none here, and I'm going to continue to advocate for those like I do on a daily basis. I want to see change. I know that there is a lot of gems here in this community. We have the golf course, we have Governor's State, we have Pine Lake. We have beautiful places here in University Park that's not being utilized the way that they should. They're being mismanaged for some of them, like the golf course. They have been left alone, like the Regal Farm and over at the pool. The pool has been sitting there waiting for children to be there, but there's no children that can go because it's not been taken care of. We need to make sure that we are taking care of our infrastructures, and that consists of the pool, that consists of Regal Farm, that consists of Pine Lake, that consists of our roads and our streets, that consists of our cable station where we should be having young broadcasters coming back. I advocated for that several years ago and went to the village manager to ask for that to come back, and that didn't happen. We went to ask for student employment. We got that going 2 years ago, and then after COVID, it stopped. But I've been out there advocating for the youth, for the children, for programs, for services, for the seniors. This is something that we definitely need to have here in our community.
Thank you, Ms. Dilworth. Ms. Thompson?
I'm asking for your support to be a trustee because I care for this village deeply. It's really my home. I thank God for sending me and my children here. Campaigning around the village, I saw so many just physical infrastructure needs. I saw potholes big enough for a wading pool to swim in. I saw rusted street poles. I saw street signs where we had to ask the residents, what street is this? Because the street signs were faded. That's worse than a slumlord. There's so many things that need to be done, but even though the mountain is big, I think we can do it like, you know how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. It's not insurmountable. If you get the right people, and if the residents join in where they're supposed to, then we can turn this place around. And I believe that I can do it. I believe that I have it in me. I believe that I was born for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. The last question of this portion of the forum, what differentiates you from the other candidates and or board members? What differentiates you from the other candidates and or board members? Ms. Williams, we'll start with you.
What differentiates from me from the other board members is I'm proactive. I have continuously attended board meetings. I didn't just take notes, I spoke. I made sure that I was hands-on. When media came out here, I was always present. I have done everything within my willpower to bring awareness to the community. I use the social media platforms. I'm on Nextdoor. I'm on Facebook. I'm constantly sounding the alarm. So that differentiates me from the others because I have been proactive for years. The only difference was I was on the outside looking in. Now I'm going to be on the inside looking out for your well-being, looking out for the taxes, making sure that we are bringing businesses that is going to generate real wealth and brings our taxes down. I'm going to make sure we get the police, that we have the proper things done in our community, the infrastructure, fresh water, the sewers. Many people have told me the sewers are backing up in their home. Why is that happening? We pay a water bill every month and a sewer charge. No one is looking into it. Aqua needs to be held accountable. 4 years now, and we're still got bad water, sewer, and all of the above. So I am proactive. I'm going to keep on fighting, keep doing what I do to make sure things happen for you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Ms. Dilworth.
What makes me different than from the other candidates is that there is different things that I'm good at, and when I see a need, I'm going to make sure that I'm there to help assist with that need. Throughout the community, whenever I seen something or any resident had an issue, when they came to me, I jumped on it. If I see someone needing help with coat drives or whatever, I'm going to jump in and help. Not only is that, I come prepared for meetings. So it's not just being there. I'm making sure that if I see an agenda, I bet you I know what the agenda says. I bet you I know what it's going to look like. I did the research. I know who the people are that's coming. I could be able to ask intelligent questions when it comes down to what's going on with this agenda. I'm able to read the contracts and negotiate. I'm advocating for different things within the community right now. When there's a need, I'm there. As for us, as trustees, this will be our first time except Trustee Bolden. So we're all new to this. We're all, right, Trustee Bolden, right. So we're all new to this, but it's not like we don't have skills. We all have skills, and we all can bring something to the table because we do see a need, and we do know that their change needs to be done, and that's what I'm advocating for. It's continuous change through the differences of me making sure that I'm not coming to the board meeting not being prepared. I bet you I will know exactly what's going on, and I could be able to answer any resident's question that they have when it comes down to what's on the agenda. I will answer my phone. I will return messages, and that's something that I feel is not being done right now because there is issues that's out there that we as residents have addressed, but we never get a response back. That's part of that respect, that's part of that integrity, that's part of that transparency and accountability that I'm pushing for and I'm advocating here in University Park.
Thank you, Ms. Dilworth. Ms. Thompson.
As a seasoned healthcare professional, I'm focused on health, not just in the hospital or something like that. Health of this village. Healthy water. We want to be able to walk outside and not worry about getting shot. If you don't have health, you don't even have life. And I want to, the health of our finances. Everything is is around health. Our finances are not healthy. Our taxes are going up. It's a burden, which creates mental health problems for people. We already went through COVID. People have problems with mental health based behind that. So everything is based on health. I'm also a planner. I'm a planner. You have to make an assessment, make a plan, work the plan, assess it again to see if you need to change something, and that's how you have to do it. Also, I'm an educator. and I'm determined that residents will know what's going on in this village. I will do my own research to find out the real deal. Like the guy who came and said he was going to give us LED lights, but we were going to have to finance it. I did a little bit of digging, just this much, and found out other villages got these same LED lights for free. For free. So got to dig a little bit. And then at the end of the day, I'm a person of compassion and integrity. And that's how I want to live out my life and leave a legacy of integrity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. So as we move into the next portion, these are the questions from the audience. You have submitted a lot of questions, and we've gone through those questions. There were a lot of duplicates to ensure that... Trustee Bolden, I'm so sorry. Trustee Bolden.
Well, I don't know what that is. However, like I said, the experience I bring, first of all, is I'm a seasoned senior trustee on this board. I have been here 8 years. I've been through 2 administrations, and I have experience. I know what's going on in the board. I read my package. I do my research. And I am well aware of what's going on here in University Park. And I want to continue to communicate with the residents. And I will admit that I don't communicate that well with residents, but I promise you I will in the future. I will also continue to, let me give you a little more about background. When they were mentioning what some of their skills was, I am also very fluent in bid processing. The mayor was very impressed with me one day. He had never been in a bid opening, and Clerk D was there as well. And one of the companies I worked for, I was always in the bid process. I was able to put bids together. I know what to look for in the bids, the bonding and all that. So I bring a lot of experience to this board, and I would like your vote to continue to carry on what we're doing right now. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Trustee Bolden. I'm sorry about that. As we move into this next portion, for the sake of time, we're going to condense this a little bit. We have some questions that have been submitted by you all. We have gone through these questions to ensure that they hit a diverse group of topics. And so I'm just going to go through the first few of these questions. The first one is, what is your plan to fix the lead in the pipes? What is your plan to fix the lead in the pipes? And Trustee Bolden, I'll start with you.
Well, my plan and what the village plan is to continue to work with Aqua. And right now, as you know, Attorney General we're working with the Attorney General. And so they're pretty much in charge of what's going on. We have Trustee Lewis, who's the liaison, I guess, for working with Aqua. But like we all said, any lead in the water is not good for any of us. We don't want any of it. We don't know how it's going to affect our children later on in life. So my goal is to really get good water in University Park. And it's not going to be cheap. We've all said that. It's not going to be cheap. It's going to cost millions of dollars to have all these pipes and things replaced. So therefore, we just need to continue to work with Aqua, the Attorney General, and keep getting the reports. There's only so much we can do at this level. Like you said, there is a lawsuit going on, but it's for the village. If you want to do one for yourself, then that's all well and good. But I agree, Aqua is one of our main concerns here in University Park now, and we would like to very much get new water from another source. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Bolden. Ms. Williams?
The biggest problem is the infrastructure. When we found out that we changed from well water to the Kankakee water, we found out the orthophosphate that they put in that water was stripping the lead from our pipes, and that lead was coming into our homes. And almost a year had passed before we were even notified. I personally want to find out how many people have cancer, have sickness, illness since 2019 when this started. We need to get a hold of Aqua. We need to make sure they change out these pipes. This was their problem, not ours. They did it as a favor to us to change from the well water to the Kankakee River, because at that time, under previous mayor, people were complaining about the smell of the water, the clothes were dingy, they didn't like the taste. We got the better water, but we didn't know the better water was poison. So now that we know this, the only way I will ever trust that water again is to change out the pipes. And they've already spent over $3 million in delivering water to this community. That's water that's money they could have used to go house by house, block by block, to get us those pipes. It's not the whole University Park. It's 1,500 homes. That could have been done by now. And I feel like we're not sounding an alarm. We're not making enough noise. We're not getting media attention. Why? Because we're a black community? We're going to be treated like Flint, Michigan? I don't think so. No. We're going to have to get more active. We're going to have demonstrations, do whatever's necessary to get their attention and get these pipes fixed so we can have clean water for ourselves and our children.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Ms. Dilworth?
Over the past 4 years, there's something that could have been done. If we had the right administration in place, then they would have fought for us with Aqua, and they would have said, let's take care of these pipes and replace them. Aqua even stated, as the president said that it would have cost them less money than what they have spent already. They spent more money now to this day than they would have had to spend if they would have just replaced all the pipes. But we didn't have the right people in place to advocate for that. Also, there is grants that has been out there that should have been taken into account. We missed a lot of these grant opportunities. We have other surrounding communities that's received grant funding to get their pipes replaced, but we did not have the right administration in place to advocate and write those grants for those programs. We missed them. Our audits wasn't done. That's part of that financial information that we need to make sure was taken care of. We have a lot of different things here in our community that we could have had if we had our finances in order. If our audits were done, then we could have, some of them could have been applying for the grants. If we had the right contract people in place, which consists of Antero Group, is the engineering group. I'm gonna call all these people out. The engineering company, they didn't do what they're supposed to be doing, as in writing grants. They're still talking about, as of today, we just wrote grants 2 weeks ago. You've been here for 4 years and haven't done a single thing. So we have to make sure that we are holding everybody accountable for the positions that they're in and stop paying people all of our money. We spend over 75% of the revenue that we come in go out to contract services. Contract services. And we don't see anything. So that goes the same part to this lead situation. If we had the right people in place, which consists of the administration, not just the board, it's the administration as well, to advocate for all of these services and programs, then we will have had new pipes in these 1,500 homes.
Thank you, Ms. Dilworth. Ms. Thompson?
The water crisis is going to be a big deal. It has to be attacked multiple ways. Like Ms. Williams said, maybe we need to get media out here. Maybe we need to use our power at the ballot box to force our legislators in Washington, D.C. and Springfield to put some fire under the people that caused the problem. Now, this is a question I keep having. How are we depending on Aqua to fix a problem that they created? So, I mean, that makes no sense to me. So we're just depending on them to tell us that the water is healthy? Why can't we have independent testing? I'm sure that the village can afford that. They're paying millions of dollars up at a golf course nobody is using. Use some of that money to test this water. And then everybody talks about lead. Nobody talks about the elevated copper levels. All these things affect our health. And even if it's not the children, it can affect adults. High lead can affect your cardiovascular system. So it's affecting all of us, all of us. We should put our legislators' feet to the fire for a first step. to make them force Aqua to do what they should do. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question, and this will be the last question as we transition to closing statements for the sake of time. This question states, why are our streets in horrible condition with the infrastructure bill that was passed and signed by President Biden? We should not have the potholes that we have, and when they are filled, they are not properly filled. I'm embarrassed. So the question is, why are our streets in horrible condition? Ms. Thompson?
I have a real short answer, so I'm not going to take up much time. Nobody cares. The people who are supposed to care don't care. If you have a swimming pool in the middle of your street, if you break your axle on your car and have to pay hundreds of dollars to get it fixed, the money is going to all the wrong places. The money needs to be reined in. That's what we need to do first. Who's ever on the board need to rein in this money and see where money is going out and see what money is coming in so we can take care of where we live. It's just as simple as that. It's just somebody has to care.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Trustee Bolden?
First of all, let me say, these roads did not just get like this overnight. It's lack of maintenance. They were never maintained. And then when they put some shoddy mess out there that when you ride across it the next day, it goes right back down. So it's lack of maintenance from day one, from this administration, from other administrations previous to us. Lack of maintenance. If it's not maintained, then therefore you're going to have these potholes. And like I said, if we did Abbott Lane, we resurfaced Amherst Lane. It's temporary. However, we had to do that before the winter because the holes that were in those two streets would have really been torn up worse with the snow plowers coming through. So the answer to that is simple. They were never maintained properly by Public Works or anyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Bolden. Ms. Williams?
Okay, I believe that part of the reason is we do get motor fuel tax money that should have been utilized for this. We don't know where that money is going to, in somebody's pockets perhaps, I don't know. But the money is not going to where it needs to go. We have money for infrastructure. We have the Build Back Biden plan. He's given billions of dollars to cities, municipalities, communities, but we're not utilizing it. And then when we do get workers to come in, we don't get the 3 bids. We get somebody that nobody knows, Joe's Turkey or whoever, comes in here and puts down shoddy work, cheap asphalt. Why would it cost almost $500,000 to pave our town center? I don't understand that. And yes, we got Abbott and Elmhurst done, but that was just done recently. Was that done for show? We had 4 years of these raggedy streets that's tearing up cars. People are getting broken ankles walking across the street. We have to be more resourceful. We got to put our money where our mouth is and use it for what we need. That's not happening. We have failed leadership, and that's why we're at where we are now. We got to change things. We can't talk about it. We got to be about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. All right. Ms. Dilworth. That's all I'm going to say. Hold on one second.
Well, just like Gina Williams was stating, that's what I was going to bring up, is we receive funding through our taxes, through the motor fuel tax, and we have not been utilizing that money for the roads. That's a problem. Not just the roads, but other things that we receive revenue in for, and we have not been using it for our community. This has been going on for years. It's based off of wasteful spending Even those roads on Amherst, and those roads didn't need to be done. That was for how much? Hundreds of thousands of dollars to be done, to be redone in April. So that was money that was a waste. It was a waste because there's a lot of other streets that are terrible. Greenbrier is terrible. Some of these other streets are terrible. It's too much going on with our roads to just say, okay, we're going to fix this one street up just for campaign reasons, I think, because it's a waste. It was a waste. Not only is that we need to make sure that our administration is focusing on the inner community. Every time I'm going to these board meetings now, all I'm hearing about is outside about Governor's State, the industrial area, let's fix up over there, let's do over there, let's give them everything. But the residents here in the community is hurting. The streets are terrible. They need services. I do not hear anything going on for what's going on here inside the community. Outside, industrial area, let's grow, let's build new roads, new streets and everything, but nothing here. And that's that lack of priority that I see for the residents here. Also, we need to make sure that our residents are speaking up, because when I'm walking these streets campaigning, I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you are driving out this driveway with this big old pothole. Why haven't you been to the board meetings to complain? Now, they stated that they have, but they never get a response. But you have to be here more.
Thank you, Mr. Worth. That concludes the question portion of this period. At this time, we'll give each candidate 2 minutes to give their closing statements. They know the order that they are supposed to go in.
Again, special thanks to Reverend Hamler and First Baptist Church for hosting this event. If there's anything I want you to take away from this forum, it is this. As your trustee, I remain committed to listening to all of you. I will be your trustee. I remain committed. Let's do this again. I remain committed to listen to all of you. I will be open to opinions on both sides of every issue and will use my knowledge to the best of my ability to make the best decision for our residents. I have a proven ability to collaborate with the village staff to determine common ground, develop solutions, and analyze objectively. We need someone who understands University Park's traditions and values while bringing to the table a wealth of experience. I'm committed to be your special advocate to help with new programs, especially those for seniors and youth. In University Park, we have major issues to address, and they include public safety, limited businesses, and lack of amenities, no social services, water crisis, and pure communication, especially pure communication. I will continue to focus on all of these. In closing this evening, I want to leave you with this famous quote from sociologist Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a few thoughtful citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Your vote makes a difference, and your opinions matter. I respectfully ask for your vote and look forward to continue servicing you. Together, we can make this community flourish and succeed. And I request that you vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Bolden.
As we close, I'd like to once again thank First Baptist, Pastor Williams, and everyone for hosting this forum. But most of all, I'd like to thank each one of you because you cared enough to come. You cared enough to sit here and listen to all of us so we could let you know what we bring to the table to be your trustee. I want to do my part to help this village get back on the right footing. I've been building skills and experience my whole entire life. And I can add value to whatever board I'm on, whether it's the library board, which I might add the library is doing well. We're having an open house on the 5th, and you can come and see our new multi-purpose room. That is, if the village releases us to have occupancy, which they have not. Thank you. And I'm just glad to see you all here and being interested in this democratic process, which I think is so important. I'd love to have your support at the ballot box on April 4th. The last day of early voting is tomorrow at the Hantack House on campus at GSU, and I'd be honored to represent you as your village trustee. Punch number 1 for Jewel Thompson. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Ms. Dilworth.
I would like to thank each and every one of you residents for attending and showing up and caring about your community. It makes a difference when I'm going out to the knocking on doors and talking to residents and just giving them a call. It really warms my heart to hear about all the different things that they do here that no one knows about. And that's a lot of people that's here in this community. They do a lot here, but they just might not let everybody else know. So I just want to thank you all for showing up and being wanting to know about who are the candidates, to be more informed, to give a qualified vote on who you want to vote for on April 4th. I agree that we need to have change. As a trustee, our job is to legislate, to establish village policies, to enact and enforce the village rules, and also to make sure that our village is the municipal business is being taken care of. And that's my role. I don't have any promises for anybody, because when I get into that office, I will not know what I will see when I get in there. So we cannot promise people anything. And if you hear people promising things, you should beware of those people, because you will never know what you would see when you get in there. We could be flat broke. You'd be like, oh my goodness, I didn't promise somebody this. No. So we need to make sure we're careful about who we are looking at and what people are saying. And hopefully the things that I've stated shows my care and my concern and my love for the community. I am experienced. I do have qualifications. When there's a need, I am there. I worked with a lot of different programs here in University Park. I work with a lot of different residents. A lot of residents have called me for different things, and I'm on it and I do it. Anyone know me? I can work with anybody. I can work with every last one of these ladies up here and any other current board or any new board. So I don't have a problem with working with people, and I want you all to vote for me on April 4th. Thank you for your time. God bless.
Thank you, Ms. Dilworth. Ms. Williams.
Thank you once again for coming out, all of First Baptist, all of the residents, Pastor Williams, and our moderator. I think in everyone's life, you reach a breaking point. You reach a point of no return. University Park, we have reached a breaking point and a point of no return. We cannot return to 4 years of failed leadership. 4 years of bad water, 4 years of little or nothing for our children, 4 years of little or nothing for our seniors, raggedy streets, no grocery stores, businesses that are not generating any wealth for us, bogus deals, a town center with businesses that were open for maybe 2 weeks and then closed the next week. What are we doing here? We need change. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. I admonish you, I encourage you not to keep doing the same thing. Vote for change. Vote for people that's going to make a difference. Give us a chance to show you our skills, our talents. Don't keep voting for the same thing, because you're going to end up 4 years from now with more raggedy streets, more shootings, more killings, more bad water. What are we doing? I'm asking for your support on April 4th. Vote for Gina Williams, and I will show you what I'm working with.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. And that concludes the trustee portion of this forum. Can we give all of the candidates a round of applause? We appreciate you. We thank you for your time. And at this time, before we transition, we're going to take a 5-minute break to transition to the Mayoral Forum. But before we do that, I want to give a special shout out. I see multiple children around this sanctuary. And so can we give a shout out to the kids who are getting exposure to this process early on. I know some may be tired and young and thinking, what the heck is going on? But we appreciate that our future is here in the building. Let's take 5 minutes, and at this time, can the mayoral candidates come up and gather in the front and take your positions? Thank you.
You heal the sick, raise the dead, you're Lord of all, great I am, you heal the sick, raise the dead, you're Lord of all, great I am, oh, I'm glad to see you mine, oh Lord, glad to see you mine, see you're amazing, see you're amazing, see you're amazing, so amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing, tell them you're amazing, so amazing, cause the sun, stars and moon to shine, I'm glad to say you're mine, oh I'm glad to say you're mine, we stand in awe of you, amazed at the things you do, somebody say you're holy, worthy is the Lamb was slain for me. You heal the sick and you raise the dead. You're Lord of all, the great I am. You heal the sick, yeah. You raise the dead, Lord of all, great I am. Call the sun, the stars and moon to shine. I'm so glad you're mine. Oh, I'm glad to say you're mine. See no one compares. Come on, can you lift your voice and say it? See no one compares. Somebody say no one compares. Lift your voice and say you're amazing. You're amazing. See no one compares. Somebody tell the Lord there's no one. Lift your voice and say no one. Somebody shout, you're amazing. Say you're amazing. Shout you're amazing. Shout you're amazing. Tell them you're amazing. Shout you're amazing. You keep on keeping me. And you keep on loving me.
Can I have all the mayoral candidates please to the front? All the mayoral candidates please to the front.
He went to Calvary to save a wretch like you and me. They hung him high and he stretched him wide. He hung his head for you and me. He died, but that's not how the story ends. 'Cause in 3 days he rose with the power. Shout you're amazing. Shout you're amazing. Shout you're amazing. Shout you're amazing. The Bible says, for what can separate me from the love of Jesus? Not life nor death.
Trustee Jenkins, Trustee Jenkins, can you please make your way to the front?
Shout you're amazing.
Trustee Jenkins.
Somebody open up your mouth and tell God you are amazing. Hallelujah. We serve an amazing God. Yes, we do, Jesus. Hallelujah. I should have been dead. I could have been dead. And I would have been dead. But grace and mercy kept me, Father. And we lift our voice tonight. Here we go. Say, you're amazing. Shout, you're amazing. Say, you're amazing. Shout, you're amazing. The Bible says, now unto him who is able to keep you from falling and present you faultless before his presence with exceeding joy. We say, you're amazing. For thine is the kingdom, and thine is the power, and thine is the glory, forever and ever. Shout, you're amazing. Shout, you're amazing. Shout, you're amazing. You're amazing, yeah. Somebody give your amazing God some praise. Hallelujah. We serve an amazing God. Hallelujah. Somebody open up your mouth and
Right, can everyone take their seat?
in this place. Hallelujah.
Can everyone please take their seats?
We say hallelujah. Anybody know the Lord to be amazing? Anybody know the Lord to be amazing? Amazing grace, amazing mercy.
Can everyone please take their seats as we prepare to enter into the next phase of this forum? All right, ushers, can we close the doors, please? Thank you. All right, let's gather in. Shh. Let me first thank you all for how you all acted at the first portion of this. I appreciate you all following the rules, and I ask that you continue to follow those rules as we enter into this next phase of the forum. Just a reminder, remember, you can submit your questions to one of the ushers, and we will go through those questions to screen them to ensure that they are respectful and they meet the guidelines of the forum. I do know that we did not get to everyone's questions, so what we're going to do is, if your question does not get answered, we will give all the candidates a chance to answer your question at the end in the back. I'm sorry, in the sanctuary. So once we dismiss, if you still have some questions for the candidates, you can come down to the front and ask your questions to them personally, because we want to make sure that each of you get your questions answered, although we may not be able to get them answered publicly. Does that sound like a plan? All right, let's enter into this next phase. We have the mayoral candidates here, and they're going to introduce themselves in their opening statements. Each of them know what their order is. We picked the order for both opening and closing statements out in the narthex. And so at this time, I invite the candidates to introduce themselves. Remember, each of you will have 2 minutes for your opening and closing statements, and you will have 2 minutes to answer your questions that are asked, both the ones that have been written down before and the ones from the audience. As a reminder, Reverend Dora, can you raise your hand? Reverend Dora will be our timekeeper for this portion of the forum. When we get down to 30 seconds, you will see the 30-second card. Reverend Dora, can you hand up the 30-second card? You will know that you have 30 seconds left. And when we get down to 0, please wrap up your answer as quickly as possible, i.e. finish your sentence. Otherwise, I will step in and move on to the next one. Does that sound good? All right, at this time, I invite you to give your opening statements. Y'all remember who was first? Okay. Make sure.
Hello. Good afternoon. Hi, I'm Trustee Jenkins from the Village of University Park, as you all know. I would like to give the honor to God, and also I would like to thank First Baptist Church for inviting us for this forum this evening so they can get to know us a little bit better. I want to thank my family, my husband, my 4 children, my 2 grandbabies, and also my father and mother for being in attendance today. Thank you. The reason I also want to let you know that I am the vice chair of the Democratic Party, the vice chair of Monee Township Democrats. I'm your seated trustee for this particular precinct where the church is located, and I've been there for 6 years, first woman elected, and also I am a sitting trustee for the last 3 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Jenkins.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank you for the invitation to participate today. I want to first thank God, First Baptist Church, its members, and those of our residents who have come today to listen and learn about the candidates. I am Joe Rudez, Mayor of University Park. My hope is that you will be willing to listen with an open mind to the information I would like to share. We have achieved many accomplishments during my administration. I am proud of the success we have had working with our Board of Trustees. It's election season, so no doubt in a contested election season, as your mayor, I am seen as a controversial figure. But my goal is to focus on you as my constituents and work for our village every single day. We have free speech in America, and the beauty of America is that the First Amendment gives everyone the right of free speech. That means that whether true or not, free speech is allowed. But rather than focus on controversy, I want to talk about my plan for progress. Public safety is my #1 concern. We have hired a new police chief with outstanding credentials to work with all of our residents. We, like all of the southern suburbs, that there is an uptick in crime, not just in University Park, but in the south suburbs in total. We also have other problems. University Park is not alone in this situation. Water issues. I have inherited many additional challenges like the uninspected impact of our water service provider and its mistakes in treating our water. This company was put into place more than 35 years ago and has let us all down. We are working with the Attorney General Office of the state of Illinois. We have developed a robust response in working with the Attorney General Office and the ongoing litigation. By court order in the company's designated advisory area, we are dealing with eliminating any issues with lead in that areas of water. By court order, we will continue to have water delivered to us until the case is resolved. I am a part of the No Lead in Water movement, where no one wants lead pipes.
Time. All right, thank you. Thank you. Trustee Brooks.
I'd like to say thank you, everyone, for coming, First Baptist. I would like to say thank you for my wife and my mom who are here tonight. She had the opportunity to take off because she, too, is a nurse, just like my endorsement of Jewel Thompson for trustee. And I also want to say to those who are watching on live stream, now you have the opportunity to see the defining moment in this village history for Time for Change. I want to say that I have been your trustee since 2017. I was a police officer 1996 until I was injured in the line of duty, became a football coach for the Monee Mavericks, as well as the head coach for the Rich East High School freshman football team. I was also your former chair of the Police and Fire Commission and also sat as your vice chair as your Public Service Utility Committee. In 2021, ladies and gentlemen, you have reelected me. And I was the first trustee since 2015. That means 2 consecutive terms that you reelected a trustee because you know that Theo Brooks is here to watch what's for you people. Like I said, we are here in our defining moment to make a choice today, for you to listen to and discuss the position when it comes to the sake of this village. Ladies and gentlemen, you have seen 4 years of failed leadership. It didn't matter what I did, what I said. As you know, it came to this moment where we have to have this discussion. Do you want to have 4 more years of failed leadership? Because we can't continue to do the same thing. And today, I will make it my business to tell you why Theo Brooks needs to be your next mayor for the Village of University Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Brooks. Our questions for the mayoral part of this forum will focus on 4 issues. The first issue is around water. For nearly 4 years, the residents of University Park have been plagued with lead-laced water and subjected to its harmful effects. After 4 years, there seems to have been no significant movement on the issue. What is your strategy to finally fix the problem, and how do you ensure that the voices of the people and not political interests are at the forefront of this fight? Trustee Brooks.
I was hoping you say I was first. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that one thing that I had made it clear that when you elected me, that my job was to indeed be compromising with your leaders, and I did with compromising with Mayor Rudess. I was on that Aqua Committee. I made it my job to do the best I can. When I won re-election, I was dismissed, as we will say. And from there, things went silent, and you started paying your water bill again. But we're going to move past the past, because we're going to move forward to what Mayor Brooks would do. One, we're going to make Aqua pay and be accountable. Also, we're going to create a water relief fund that will be used properly and not used to try to buy votes in the April 4th election. Next, I will be engaged in the U.S. EPA Office of Environmental Justice to bring what has happened to University Park. Get the CDC, as we need to discuss when it comes down to the anxiety level that has come in the mental state of many people here in this village. We don't know how long you've been drinking the water, and these babies that's inside the audience today been drinking the water. We're not going to blame the past administration, because at the end of the day, the mayor was the past administration. We're going to talk about investigating and taking local control of the water, but that's a long ways out, and he's going to probably say that to you, ladies and gentlemen. But that is a vision that's way down the line. We need to take care of our health first. And then also, I am in a final agreement of saying that we need an independent testing, because I don't believe anything Aqua say, because the last time I was sitting there doing an Aqua call, they failed the lead test, and that I yield my time.
Thank you, Trustee Brooks. Mayor Rudess.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, as we all know, if you don't know, the water problem didn't start in 2019 when I get elected. The previous board was warned in 2018 to stop the process or proceed with extreme caution. They chose to bring the water in from the Kankakee River, which is, I don't understand where that comes from. That's not what we deserve. But going forward, looking at the problem, the courts right now is in the extended discovery. There has been no movement in the court case with Aqua Water. But the long-term plan is that we want to get away from Aqua Water, period. We're not trying to make them a better water provider. We want them out of our community, and we want to work on getting a Lake Michigan source into University Park. And the thing, now I heard someone mention about the infrastructure dollars, where you cannot solicit and get infrastructure dollars for infrastructure that does not belong to the village of University Park. It is just a misnomer that is out there. Aqua owns the sewer system, the transfer lines, and the pumping stations. But what we are doing is moving forward. We have applied for relief for the residents in that advisory area to get the pipes replaced from the B-box to the house. It's a process going on, but it has initiated. We're also going to ask them to, not just Aqua, we're going to ask the Illinois EPA to adapt the federal government standards as far as water goes. I also would like to be a part of the No Lead in the Water movement. So talking about the problem isn't doing anything. We've just recently applied and received about $500,000 to start on that process on getting some of the pipes replaced. We want to make sure that the residents in the advisory area have an opportunity to get their pipes fixed at no cost to them through federal legislation and state legislation. Then we will continue to proceed forward in making sure that Aqua is out of here. We want to make an offer for Aqua to buy the system back. It was bought for $2 million 35 years ago. It's time for us to do something different.
Thank you.
Trying to make that
Thank you, Mayor Rudess. So before we go to Trustee Jenkins, let me remind everyone of the rules. We didn't shout out and make comments at the last one. So please, out of respect, let's not do it for this one. I understand we all have strong opinions about who we like, what we want, and you all are entitled to those opinions, but please, let's be respectful. That will serve as my warning. Thank you. Trustee Jenkins. Thank you. Trustee Jenkins.
Aqua Water, I've knocked on, I bet you, at least 800 doors. Aqua Water is the forefront in this community. Everybody is concerned about their health and what is going to happen to them 10 years from now. Aqua is ridiculous. What this board has allowed, or leadership has allowed Aqua to do to us, is incomprehensible. Aqua feet need to be held to the fire. It makes absolutely no sense. But when I sit here today and look around this room, I see a divide. A divide is not going to work to get Aqua to come and do what they need to do. My suggestion is to understand, when I'm knocking on doors, I'm asking the residents. I said I'm knocking, and when I win, I need you to meet me at 90 Town Center, at least 500 cars, so the media will be held accountable for showing us what Aqua has done to our community. I went to one when it first happened. I went with First Baptist to a caravan to Aqua Water. It was dismal. That was 4 years ago. We need to make sure that we hold Aqua accountable for what they're doing to our families, our children, our homes. And being politically correct is not where it needs to be. It's time to stand up and get it done, and stop pointing fingers and bridge the divide in this community. Stop it, because it's not going to make Aqua do what Aqua needs to do. Thank you,
Trustee Jenkins. Our next question today is around economic development. The I-57 corridor is a critical piece of the Chicago area expressway system and is an important link for businesses and residents to the nationwide transportation network. University Park is situated in a prime location along the I-57 corridor and is attractive to many businesses, both large and small. What is your plan to revitalize the economy of University Park, and how will you guarantee that the lives of our village's Black and brown residents are not sacrificed in that process? Mayor Rudess.
Well, thank you. For those of you who may have noticed or not have noticed, we understand that I-57 is the largest and fastest growing corridor in the state of Illinois. Fortunately, we have the second largest industrial park in the state of Illinois, and as you see, the development around that corridor has been phenomenal. $400 million in economic development will lead the path to getting us the growth and development that we do need. With the emergence of a new Amazon, with the emergence of a Century Steel and Wire, with the emergence of a Carvana, with the emergence of a Quick Trip Travel Center, and with the possible third airport going on, University Park is positioned with the $45 million that went into the TOD, that's going into the TOD study around our metro station, that's going to bring commuters into our community. So the process has started. The evidence, the proof is in the evidence. Don't listen to what people say. Look at what you actually see with your hand, with your eyes. These were abandoned fields that we were not getting anything from as economic development. They were farmland, no taxes coming in. Just alone with Carvana, we will get $2 million plus in real estate taxes. And all of us homeowners know that real estate taxes are in the rear. Also, with the online car sales, that's $1 million in online car sales. The 300 some odd jobs that are coming, that will lead the path. 2,000 jobs created in the worst times in U.S. history, and I compliment my board of trustees who stood the course, who educated themselves, who did their due diligence before casting the vote. It's not that they have to come up to a board meeting and question and pose and stuff around. The homework has been done. The proof is in the evidence. Even down the street, our new Dollar General, we have stirred a local economy that this village has never seen before. And I sat here as a trustee from 2005 to 2017, and no one else has ever seen this much growth and development in the village of University Park. The process is on the way, and changing leadership at this time sets the community backwards.
Thank you. As a reminder, when you get down to zero, please just finish your final sentence. Okay. Trustee Jenkins.
Economic development is Hello. Economic development is extremely, extremely important here in University Park. I too supported a lot of the economic development that came to the village. But, however, we have to ask ourselves, is this what we're only good for? Factory jobs, warehouse jobs? We need to have other things in our village that are going to impact our children with careers instead of just blue-collar workers. I'm not against economic development. I'm for economic development. But start to build economic development that is going to satisfy all our needs, especially when we house a 4-year university. Where are we going to go? I tried to work at Amazon. It was terrible. It was just it was horrible. So that is not me. Everybody is not inspiring to work a blue-collar job. And then another question comes up. Who decides what economic development is coming into the community? When Caravana came into this community, we knew nothing about it or what it was. How do you decide that you're going to put something on one of the main thoroughways of our community and not ask us if that is what we want? Because our Caravana is belly up right now. What are we going to do if they bankrupt? What are we going to do with the land? We've given a lot of acreage away. So what are we to do? When you're doing economic development, make sure that you include the taxpayers that live in this community, because we have to accept what you build. That's
Thank you, Trustee Jenkins. Trustee Brooks.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's also make a correction. It's not Carvana. It's Carvana Maintenance Plan. So it's not where you buy your car. It's where they take the car, fix it up, and they did it on our front door. And they did it, as my colleague was on the board here saying, we voted no, because it was never brought to you, the people, in the first place. I sounded the alarm a long time ago when it came to TIF 7. That's the I-57 development. Ladies and gentlemen, I promise you, when you elected me in 2017, I told you that I would work with the leaders. And I came to the mayor's office by the second week and told him, TIF 7 was created for commercial, for the people, for the village of University Park. They're ready for a grocery store. They're ready for everything on the front door. But it didn't happen. You know what happened? If you watch the board meeting and go back again, you had a developer tell me that vote was going to happen. But what we didn't know was 45 days before that, somebody got paid. So, and to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, what would Mayor Brooks would do? Mayor Brooks immediately will hire an economic developer for the village of University Park. We have gone too far and too long messing up money. I'm telling you now, if you can take $1.2 million and send it to the golf course, you can pay somebody with an education, not Ernestine Beck Fulcum, to put grocery stores here in University Park, and that I will make a promise.
Thank you, Trustee Brooks. Our next question is around food insecurity. University Park is one of approximately 6,500 food deserts in the United States of America. These are places where economics and geography make it harder for people to access healthy and nutritious food. Lack of access to healthy and nutritious food can have damaging effects on the community. How do you propose we grant residents access to healthy and nutritious foods? Trustee Jenkins.
Food insecurity is one of the things that I championed for during COVID. I knew that our children, Crete-Monique High School, I'll go back a little bit, they put the lunchroom program all the way on the other side of University Park. So the children would have to go and get their own food over by the high school. So my daughter and I took our time for one complete year, bringing lunches from Crete into University Park to 70 families 4 times a week. Insecurity, food insecurity exists here. Not only does water cause a problem, where you don't have food, good, healthy food, tomatoes, onions, milk, eggs, it creates health issues. We don't have a regular grocery store, a little mom and pop shop, but we got a tobacco store. That's what we got. But these are things that we've given away, liquor licenses. We've given away, made all types of things at the 90 Town Center. We have J&J. We have Sugar Shack, which are okay, but you have to also address what the problem is. Yes, it's a 55 medium income here in the village, but what if you have 5 children? Where do you go from there? You need to make sure that we have programs that are put in place. I tried to implement a program, and instead of the program getting implemented, we bought a box outside of Village Hall that allows dry goods. When they were willing to bring, Illinois Northern Food Bank was willing to come here and create a food pantry like they have at Faith Movers, but it was turned down. So my thing is that we have to start looking at our community. I'm not here to political posture. I love my village. I love it enough to do everything that I could to make sure that our children ate. I got up at 7 o'clock in the morning and did all of those things.
Thank you, Trustee Jenkins.
Vote for Sonia Jenkins for mayor. Thank you.
Trustee Brooks.
As I said before, ladies and gentlemen, I think about this question all the time because when Carvana was built, the Carvana maintenance facility, what I knew is that the front door of our coming into University Park was taken. That's why at this point we have no choice but to do what is best. None of us here are economic developers, although they're going to claim to be an economic developer. You have to hire an economic developer to come with the truth to the people of University Park. That's number one. We can't use 100 Town Center. We know what that turned into. But when it comes to also, until then, we need to activate the Human Service and Special Events Committee and bring it back to the people and allow the moments when they had, the people at University Park had the fresh market, fruit market, when they had it sitting outside and they were trying to accomplish it in order to help the people at University Park. Because when you took TIF 7 and gave those huge tax breaks to industrial companies who told you the market is for industrial warehouses, that took away what we were going to do. You were going to have a store, a hotel, a restaurant. We can begin on all those things that were coming over in TIF 7. But the number one priority that I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, in order to get the grocery store is a true economic developer needs to be hired for the village of University Park.
Thank you, Trustee Brooks. Mayor Rudez.
So this is about us being in the despair of a food desert. So the groundwork has started for the food desert. We're fooling ourselves. Wait a minute. First of all, I just got to say this. Trustee Brooks did vote yes for Carvana, and there's misinformation out there. There's misinformation out there that says that they're just a maintenance. It's just a maintenance facility. It is a 3-phase facility that includes online sales, reinspection, and reconditioning of vehicles. And so it's not just a warehouse. It brings retail sales tax for Carvana. If everyone knows, they're an online sales car company, and that's what they do there. But also, since the economic base has been started around the jobs and everything else, the stores also have realized that with all these new 2,000 jobs, they know that the people need a place to go get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There are current conversations ongoing with the Kroger and an Aldi. So that's the actual fact about the matter. And if you want to look at the stuff, get the facts of the matter. Go FOIA the information. Don't listen to this nonsense, because the facts are true. We're trying to break the chains of oppression, because my predecessor was always telling me that people believe a lie before they believe the truth. When they hear the truth, it's so hard to distinguish it from the past thing. Look at the numbers, look at the facts, look at the legislation, look at the vote on how it actually went. Those are the true facts about that. A grocery store will come. So it doesn't happen overnight. We didn't have these 2,000 jobs 4 years ago or 8 years ago or 12 years ago. They were non-existent. But the groundwork and the framework has been set because people are not going to invest millions of dollars in the center of a heart, in the heart of a community. They want dollars from that I-57 corridor and the 50,000 cars plus that go north and south on Cicero Avenue. Groceries are coming. It's been a long battle and a fight, but it is on the way. Those are the facts. Check my record. Check it what I said I'm going to do, and it's done. And check.
Thank you, Mayor Rudess. Our next question is around finances. The taxes in University Park are just as high as other municipalities in the Southland area. However, University Park lacks vital resources. What is your plan to ensure that residents of University Park receive resources that are equivalent to the taxes they pay? Trustee Brooks.
Yes, sir. And let me also say, I was the one that sounded the alarm that Carvana was going under and voted no.